you that don't have access to my YouTube channel or don't follow, come and see me later. Okay, so on the mount position, I've got about 3 styles of mounts I play, and it's depending on how what I want to do for mount and how my partner's reacting. So for me, right, is when I get the mount position, is if I squeeze my knees onto my partner and I sit up flat, my partner can get a frame system onto the inside, and because my knees are squeezed, if he moves his hips, I kind of move with him. Does that make sense? So I don't particularly like this mount. What I like to do for this, I like to have my hips driven forward, so my knees squeeze, I'm driven forward, and I like to control the arms. Right, very simple. My C grip is so that the only way he can move his arms is back towards him. Does that make sense? So I'm not going top over where he can bring his hands on the inside and get the frame and push me. My hands go here and I'll drop my hips forward. Okay. First of all is my partner will generally use his top hand to try and push me away. When I started to do this, I call this a Spider-Man for the kids. So instead of trying to fight it, as he pushes, I go here. Now what I'm doing is my right hand and my right hip drops. I slowly walk around, come to the other side, my hand goes in. He'll go to push the other hand comes over, and I start with my first choke. So let's have a look at that again. I drop my knees wide, I drop my hips on the inside. So I'm trying to hip thrust into his belt system, right? So what I mean by that is I'm not throwing my hips here to create space, I'm throwing my hips low. I C-grip. As he pushes, I go with it. Drop my hip. So this hip, this arm drops down, I have the control. Spider-Man walk. Over, thumb goes in. As a general rule, he'll now use his other hand to try and push. Comes over. Now, even if he rolls me, the choke is on. One more time. So, knee spread, hands in, here. I allow my power, he might push, as he pushes, we work on the same side. So, I throw my hand, I drop my hip down from here. Spider-Man walk, so my chest is on the arm, it's hard for him to use it, thumb goes in. As a general rule, he's going to grab my arm to bridge and roll. As he does that, my hand comes over, I can roll, that's okay. Elbows coming now, so by the time we get to the top position, the choke is already on. Okay, now one, I'm losing the position, but I'm taking the submission. Everyone can start that. 1, 2, 3. Elbows come in, and now what I do is I take my chest over my partner. Choke. My elbows come in, I do not want to see any guys doing this. The elbows come in. Okay, drive my legs straight, come over, and slowly touch. But it makes it extremely hard for my partner to start to drift away. So, here, grip, here, as you push it, and drop my head, foot. Spider-Man, low, push it, Spider-Man, low, push, comes in, straight on, hold my partner's foot. Straight partner, 1, 2, 3. Please feel free to ask questions when we're doing this. Right? I'll be moving pretty fast through the system, and it'll be back on top of each other. So if you do lose a step, you might find the next part a little bit difficult. So please always ask questions. First one is put your hand up and yell my name, or idiot, whatever like that, or hey you, and I'll come and help you guys out. So now, what's the name? Next step, here, you push my hip this side, hands up. So obviously, you guys are like this. He still has the ability to get a frame under because this V is open. I want it to be down. Yeah. So it will wrist lock him if he tries to reframe. So I need to close space. All about taking space away from my partner. I'm very sorry, guys. Okay. So he spread, hand, okay. So elbow, down, and I drop my hip. Walk, but this time, I'm not going to go to the collar and keep my hand. As he goes to push me with his only hand, I walk back. So now, both hands are pinned, which allows the choke. So the first time, I allow him to get the bridge roll because I've only capitalised on one side. This time, I'm going to go back. So I'm going to go windscreen wiper, both sides. Slow motion, knee spread, hips drive. Here, he attacks, throw, pull. Nice. Spider-Man walk, crush it. Then go the opposite side, drop it down, Spider-Man walk, crush, hands come in. I prefer thumb, I prefer hand over. If you have a look at my legs, I've grapevine onto his legs. Okay, so this makes it harder for him to bridge and roll, but what I want is my elbows come in, and now what I'm doing is I'm taking my chest over my partner to choke. My elbows come in, I do not want to see any of you guys doing this. Your elbows come in. Okay, drive my legs straight, come over and slow squeeze. Your partner cannot tap. Of course, the arms are caught where? Yeah, so it's not because they can't tap, but it makes it exceedingly hard for my partner to start to push away. Right, so here, grip, here as he pushes, so hand, drop my hip, low. Spider-Man, low, pushes, Spider-Man, low, push, comes in, grapevine, close my partner and squeeze. Shake partner, 1, 2, 3. Now, we're going to work on action reaction. So, the downfall is, if I play a low mount, I don't get access to submission. So, I'm like here, like, he can't move out of my mount, but I have a hard time submitting my partner. So, we've got to have this play where I've got to give a little bit to get a little bit. And this is one of my favourite ways of setting up the cross collar choke on someone that already has their frames on the inside. So they're not just there pushing, right? So from this, I'm going to make my partner a little bit. The way I do it is I throw my left hand backwards so I have a post out to the side. I don't want the post here. The reason being, my post here, if he pushes, my hips fall backwards and he comes up. My post here, he pushes. So because I have a structure behind me, not to the side, I can wide his hips. Okay. So, as he goes, hands onto the hips, I grab. Okay. I throw it backwards as he pushes. Here. Now watch carefully. I turn my elbow up, I pull, my thumb goes in the collar. Now, you don't feel it. This is super tight already. So what I'm going to do is I now drop my hips down, I shoot my hand across in front to get my choke. It's a really kind of deep choke. So if I feel the hands onto my hips, I'm not fighting it. I go 1, 2, here. Now, he has to push, which creates space where? So, throw my leg under, come over. To make it work is my hand, my right hand, pushes the shoulder down to realign him. I don't want to choke while he's off center. So my right hand pushes the shoulder down. Cinch it. The choke's, before I even get my hand in, the choke's pretty much coming on. It's a really heavy choke. I'm kind of crushing my partner's neck. It's really fun to do. Okay, so 1. Okay, grab hold first. I need an ankle point. Don't post because you won't be able to grab the key. Look. So 1, 2, kick it, slide forward, come up. Punch this down as hard as I can. Come over the top. Now, crush my partner. One more time. Okay. For those of you that find that this is hurting your neck or your throat, it's supposed to. It's not one of those chokes where you kind of go, oh, that's a nice choke. No, it's one of those ones you go, get off me. Okay, so hands, 1, back stroke, kick it, pull in, here, punch the shoulder down, get it nice and deep, so I've re-cinched it, collapse the frame, come over the top, squeeze. Okay, is everyone okay though? Who would like to see Sean cry one more time? Got a bag on. Awesome. You should do a podcast. Okay, so from here, okay, hands on my left side, so it's my right hand. Pop, back stroke, kick my knee, come up, grab, cinch it, pull it in, push it down. So it's 2 motions. pull the choke on, push the shoulder down, collapse the frame. Come over, put my head over, elbows come in and slow squeeze. Change partners, 1, 2, 3. Stopped about a high gripper. But what happened was at brown bar and above, everyone kind of got a little bit savvy onto the chokes and everyone's mountain skate got a little bit better. So I needed to change my attack system. I actually moved away from the cross-collar chokes and moved to R bars. I'm going to do that in a second so you guys understand why and how and the theory behind it. But while on the choke thing, I reinvented into my choke system and it's a high level choke. Those of you, if you've seen the flight I did in Japan in the Japan Nationals where I broke the guy's ribs from my choke, Flynn was there, it was funny. So I changed my choke system. It allows me to maintain the top position. It works with them escaping it, and I get the ability to create immense torque onto their neck and their shoulders. So this was a system, the choke system, that for me really improved my whole choke game and made me a lot more stable so that could bridge and roll me off the mount position as well. Okay, so we're going to assume that we have the mount position and we'll just work on, so as Dan throws me off the side, I grab hold, thumb goes in from it, and now I know as a general rule, he's going to try and bridge and roll me that way. So what I'm doing is my hand comes over, and now this is, I turn my palm in, I drive that. So what I'm doing is I'm posting. The downfall with the post, if you have a look at this, is there's a space underneath my arm where you can start to push. So how do I get rid of that? I bring this down. Put the elbow in. Now the hardest part on this is I drive off my toes and I'm putting my shoulder, my elbow to my hand. My shoulder, so from here. It's an extremely tight choke. I've got the ability to torque his neck immensely with this choke. It can't bridge and roll me because all my weight's on one side and have a frame on that side as well. So this is really hard for my partner to do it. When I first started playing around with this, I was going in here and I would purposely kind of go, I already know where he's going to go, so I would kind of go, I'd throw my hand up nice enough and I'd collapse. You can't see it, but I've collapsed his arm. So the arm that's underneath my chest. So he'll kind of go, I don't want the arm there, he'll pull the arm out. I'll go from here and turn it in. I take my shoulder and my elbow up, I drive it through from here. So what this mechanic does is, my elbow by default is on his chest. If I try and choke my partner from here, is I do what I call a chest and a shoulder choke. If I take my shoulder, my elbow up, it now goes straight onto the front. To stop it from moving, my other hand's blocking the neck out. So it's not the fact that I'm torquing his neck, it's the fact that once my arm's here, if I take my elbow, if you come in, but if I take my shoulder and my elbow up, it goes over his neck. And of course this is here, as I drop my weight down, I start pulling forward and forward. It's really hard for my partner to defend this. It comes on exceptionally fast, but I've got to post and turn. Because if I turn, my frame structure is weak. If I post, there's too much space. So I need a combination of both. Does everyone understand? So if I go here and I post high, he can put his arm in that valley. Yeah, push. I'm like, man, I can't do my choke now. Does that kind of make sense? But if I go here, I go close, it goes, I'll use the spaces, I'll pull this down, there's no longer any space. He'll pull the arm out, I drive forward. Now, if I can't choke my partner, my head goes on the ground, I do a back elbow, I slice through his jaw, my hand goes into the collar, and I complete the choke. Right, so I have the ability to go into a standard cross-collar choke as well. As a general rule, you won't have to do this. Right, so once again, the hands are here, I go in nice and deep, get my control, I throw myself over, one, take the space away, take my shoulder, my elbow over shoulder, cross, head goes down, back elbow to turn his head, hand comes in, 4 fingers in the back of the collar, elbows in, squeeze. The choke is a super tight choke. It's once again an uncomfortable choke. It's a high percentage choke. You're going to choke a lot of people with this choke. Okay, new partners, 1, 2, 3. But come in guys, if you guys can't see, you're not going to learn. The concept on the choke is if I go fingers in, by default my elbow's normally back towards me. Right, so this means that my choking hand is generally this hand which applies the pressure. If my thumb goes in, if it's here, when I lift it, it creates space underneath the neck. So this means that if I'm doing a cross-collar choke thumb in, it's easier for him to defend and it creates a little bit more space. So people ask me, what's the difference between thumb in and fingers in? It's the space that you allow between the hand grip and the neck. So if I'm going thumb in, if I try and put my elbow across his chest and squeeze, there's zero to little choke. But if I take my elbow across, that becomes a choke. So what I'm trying to do with you guys is, when I say take your elbow, so your elbow and your shoulder hand is, I want it to come off his body. Because if I'm here choking him, no matter how hard I try and squeeze, it's going to give me that look of discontent, like, what are you doing to me? You know, like. So I really need you guys to focus on taking arm up. But I don't want him to follow me. So how do I stop him from following me? Right, I put my elbow in the crook of his neck. I take my elbow over and the choke pretty much comes on. So I really need you guys to, I do the back elbow in, I take my elbow off his shoulders into the valley to choke him. Now, some of you guys are pretty tough, right? And you're going to sit there, you're going to grit your teeth and make those silly faces, and I'm not going to tap to that. So to complete the choke, 1, 2, elbow goes down, palm goes up, elbow, shoulder, and it's tough, man. Is to try and get my elbow as far up as I drop my hips and I drive my elbow and shoulder up. And I'm torquing his head. Right. So it's not a nice choke for him, but it's a very nice choke for me because I've got the posture, I'm not using it, it's my upper body that's doing the driving, not my hands anymore. So this is a super strong choke that'll work on big guys and little guys. So once again, thumb doesn't have to be deep, but it's better if it is. Close, take the space away, back elbow. Slap yourself in the head if you need to. Take my elbow, my shoulder over his shoulder, here. Start revving, so I go back elbow, I drive my whole body, so it's my body that's doing the choke and driving forwards. You should be able to choke your partner in about 2 or 3 seconds once his choke is set up. If they try and push and roll me, it makes it worse for him. The choke will come on more. Okay, let's try that again, guys. 1, 2, 3. And then drink break. Saw the difference on that.
Oh yeah, I'm a fan.
2 and a half low back. So 3 majors for my mount position. And these are, there's obviously a lot more than what 3 things that people will do. But I'm going to work the higher percentages. Like if they do that 3% of the time I get to mount, I'm not interested. It's so obscure that it's not going to come up enough for me to warrant it. If it comes up 5%, still not worried about it. If it comes up 20%, I need to be aware of it. If it's coming up 30%, I need to deal with it. That means, out of every 10 wrestles, it's coming out close to 3 times. So I need to have an answer for that. Okay, so Michael, on your back. I'm just going to go through the 3 majors and basically everything on your counters on Jiu-Jitsu will be a variation of these, except for one, and I'll cover that later. Okay, so the 3 majors for me, dealing with my poses, the number 1 thing, the frames. Could be a frame onto the left hip, right hip, or the center line. Number 2 would be the push away, so trying to push me away. Number 3, the hands in, no reaction, waiting for me to work. This is generally done as I go low, it's going to grab my arm and bridge and roll me. Does that make sense? So the first one we've already done, if we're here, we get hold of the collar, slap on the back choke. The second one is the arm push away, we're going to deal with that next. Third one is the arms are in. Sorry, arms are in by his chest. So he's trying to do it. His elbows on my legs. So if he rolls to the side, digs his elbows in, he's got the ability to hip escape and move me. So a lot of time, what I used to see was, and what I used to do is, I used to deal with the thing that was the issue. The downfall, I'll explain it to you, is this, is if I pick up this arm and he moves this way, it's going to create space, I'm going to lose my mount position. But he's got to be in the zone. So if he kind of knows, every time I do the elbow escape, he'll pick up the elbow, create space, it's not good for me. Does everyone understand that? Okay, so the hands are in. So what I'm going to do first, I'm going to grab the gi, 2 sleeves onto one. Okay. So IBJJF, I cannot put my hands inside the collar, it is illegal. So we're going to grip on top. First thing that I do from this, I pick the arm up and I put it over my partner's body. So the arms, pick it up, I use my hips. So I'm hip thrusting to get the arm away from the body. I'm not just trying to pick it up from here, it won't work. What happens if we keep the arm in? We'll drill down in a second. Okay, so hip thrust, pin it, sweep me up, put all my weight on my hands, pin. Once again, drill 1, pick it up, drive my hips, pin it, step, control, wrist lock. Don't forget the wrist lock, it's very important, guys. Again. So, he's got the knee to elbow, right, elbow to knee, but I don't invest time picking up, so I get hard, first thing, I go hip thrust, pin it, I don't stop. All my weight goes to sepia, that makes my weight in my knees super light. If you notice, when I'm doing the sepia, I'm shoving my hips as far forward underneath the armpits as I can. When I do my arm bar, I want to be as close to his throat as I can. Here. Draw 1, hip thrust, boom. Okay, drive high, so I'm underneath the armpits. Got it. Kick overhead. Pull, grip it. If he now goes, I cut my hands together. I shove my hand, thumb in, under here, and I choke my partner. Anytime they're here, right, I'm like this. So he's trying to move, all I do is I turn my knee up, thumb goes in, and then arm bar him. Choke him, and then arm bar him. And then choke him again. No, choke him.
wrist lock.
So, the reason why I go under, right, is I've got the ability to turn his head and grip. Does that make sense? Right, if I go over, my weight's going this way, he can sit up. Got it, yeah. So I want to make sure that his weight's always kept here. So I can now just lean on his throat. One more time. You okay with that one? So he's doing the elbow to knee escape. He's got the frame on the inside. But I don't invest time picking it up. So grab it, lift it, hip thrust, boom. Switch over, arm bar, missed it, come under, choke. 1, 2, 3. And please, like, don't, it's your time. Right, if you have a question, I guarantee there'll be a couple other people thinking about it as well. So just like, you've got me for another little bit. So if there's questions, use me. Yes, sir. Yes, I'd love to. Come here. So let me explain the analogy of the choke. So I've got the armbar position, and I've already explained to you, I don't want to roll, so he's got his hands together. Anytime that I roll my weight this way, he has the ability to sit up. So what I'm doing here is this, think about this, I pull my foot as hard and fast as I can to my butt. Now, there's a valley to put my thumb in, I now close it down. So what I'm seeing is people that are trying to get it, like, but pull this in. But I can now guess. Now, what I've seen a lot of people do is go, the person on the bottom goes, I'll get out of the choke by rolling towards the person doing the armbar. So as he rolls towards, I just go, well, that's the armbar. So if you roll towards me to get out of the choke, I get the armbar. If you roll away from me to get out of the armbar, I get the choke. If you choose to do nothing, I'm going to have a lot of fun. Okay. So what I see the issue with is, if I lean this way, this is really hard to get my thumb in, and he can sit up. If I lean this way, I cannot get my thumb in. So I go foot, 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 thumb, 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 kick it. Now, I start to roll onto his head to get the choke. Man, this guy's really tough. I'm having trouble. Drop my elbow to the floor and finish the choke. Worst comes to worst, right, is if I'm here and my partner's kind of like pretty stubborn, right, probably blue belt level, so foot comes in and I'm here and I'm like, and he drops his jaw down. Oh man, how did he know the counter? So he's got his jaw in. I always go like this, guys, I pull my arm, my elbow underneath me and I reset. So it's on the jaw. He's either going to get a broken jaw or he's going to let go or tap.
Yeah.
So for me, it was pretty much, if they drop their jaw down, that's their choice. You're a master of your own actions, you're a master of your own destiny. You do something, I'll choose how I react. If you drop your jaw down to stop the choke, I'm going through your jaw. Like, I'm not being rude or anything like that, but like, if you do that to someone in tournament, they're going to go through your jaw. It's not illegal, that's what it is. That's not the correct way to defend a choke, by putting your jaw down. You know, like, if you're tough and you can bear it, do it, but I'm going to grind your jaw. It's not hurting me. I'm not the one in pain. I will grind your jaw out. Let's go.
To try to lift up to do hip thrust, if you've got short legs, how do you overcome that?
Come here, come down. Okay, so the question is, if you've got short legs and doing the hip thrust. Head that way, please. Come. So elbows are on the inside, right? Grip. Push. Now hip thrusting, but my hips aren't making any contact with the arm. Does that make sense? And it could just be body shape and size from here. So what I'm going to do is, as I pull it over, from here, I walk my knee up high and I sit. So I'm just walking my knee up nice and deep. So I've gone to like an S-mount position. And the most common question is, yeah, but they can put the arm underneath the leg. Thank you. I've got the triangle. Anytime that the hand goes underneath, I just take the triangle, the rollover chop, and I'm always rolling so that the shoulder's compressed. I don't roll backwards so that there's no pressure. Yeah. So here, he's trying to lift up, but he doesn't have the ability to do this. So I'm like, man, this guy's like longer than me, I'm shorter. I go, ha ha. Everyone goes, I got my arm there, boom. Here you go. So now I've got the ability to climb up. So what I'm doing is, if I'm here and there's too much gap, if they're too strong, my legs are too short, I'm really lazy, okay, I just go, figure four, he goes, no way, pulls it in, I now have the ability to crunch it. Now, you don't see it, but he's pinned. I get all my weight, and now armbar. So again, holds his hands together because Colin's really stubborn. I move away, put my hand over his mouth, I just kind of suffocate him from here instead. SGT rules. Is there any other questions on that before we move on? Yes. Come here so everyone can hear.
You do that hip thrust and you go too far, you take the hand over, and then instead of CPRing, they blade across your face.
Yeah, let's have a look.
Pros and cons, illegal, not illegal.
Oh, look, there's nothing illegal in jiu-jitsu if you don't get caught. The ref doesn't see it. So if you go too far, right, so let's just say that the person kind of acts and reacts with me. So elbows in, till I want to go hard, and it goes all the way over here. Pop, go under, start to wrap it up, choke, come over, I'm still in the good, like I'm still in such a dominant position. It's going to hurt you more than it hurts me. Yeah.
Isolating and then
Yeah, so look, if my partner happens to roll with it, so I can go slow, so boom, it goes here, and I'm here. If I'm having trouble, like it's so deep,
blade when you hopped over. Instead of CPR, you got a heavy blade across the front.
my arm,
Yeah, now jump.
yeah, so if it's here, like, I just got to put my weight onto you, feel that? And now I just put it down onto your throat. So you're going to have to react to that choke or you're going to get choked. How would you react to the choke? Very good. Yeah, so look, it grabs, boom, thank you. Wrist. Man, too hard, choke. Like, just go the system. Drink back, 1, 2, 3. I'm taking my partner belly down. I'll explain that as we go through. Micah, jump down, please. So the hierarchy system for me is if I'm on mount and I do an arm bar, I'm leaving the mount position, and if I don't get the arm bar, I've lost the mount position. If I do a cross collar choke from mount, only happens to bridge and roll, I'm generally going to end up in my guard with the collar choke on. Not so bad. With the Kimura, I go for the Kimura, I miss it. As a general, I'm still on mount. So the hierarchy system for me is the submission that I would go to the most if it presents itself would be the Kimura or the figure 4. It's the one that's the most stable. I don't lose the position. It's one that I can attack left and right side, and it opens up what I call Pandora's box as far as the amount of submissions go. So this for me opens up everything. It should be one of your go-to weapons from mount. Okay, head that way. So the way I like to do the Kimura, right, I've got a couple of different ways I approach this, and the way I started to do it was a little bit different to how I was originally taught. The way I was originally taught was go to 2-on-1, and we hand fight, we push it down, hand comes under, and it's got the ability to move it from here. So what we want to do instead is I want to start to attack the Kimura or the armbar using a secondary attack. So I go, hand goes in, he goes, I'll start to defend. Okay, so now I use this to start set up. The beautiful thing about it is I have the armbar and I have the Kimura. So the option for the Kimura versus the armbar, I've explained. If I go for the armbar, I sit backwards and I go off mount to the armbar, he's still got the ability to get up and I lose my position. With the Kimura, I'll miss it, I'm still on mount. So thumb in or finger in, doesn't matter, go from here. So I attack the fingers, I push the blade down from here. Nice and tight, it's a 2-on-1. My partner will generally try to roll to push it and make sure it's coming up. And the way that I've done it is it's so easy for me to get the arm because it gives me the arm. So the small detail is here and here, and I'm going fingers. So it's fingers and I'm crushing it so that there's nowhere for him to go. Push it down. Now, if I don't want that arm in the way, I simply step over. And now this is more of sitting like this after. I know he's going to push me. Just ride the hips, elbow. So the biggest thing, and I guess the question would be what happens if he only uses that hand, not that hand? Any questions? Oh, what happens if he only uses that hand, not that hand? Okay, that's a good question, Steve. Okay, so from here, I go in and he just goes like that. Okay, 2-on-1, CPR, step over, with the armbar that we just did. So that goes straight to the I'm choking the whole time. It's kind of fun, right? So, if my partner uses 2-hand defense, 1, 2, fingers, push it down. Kill it. Come on. He tries to bridge. But that's strong, solid. See how it works in white belts. See if they react the correct way. No offense to white belts, sorry. This white belt is podcast. I'm going to say something one day and it's been about 5 years time. You said this and I'm knocking on your door to beat you up. Right. So he does the bridging roll with just the one hand. Fill it over. CPR. Armbar. Holds his arms together, hand comes under. Try it. Yeah. You okay with that? Yeah. So this good job so far, Jody. Hand goes in, thumb or 4 fingers. One hand, 2 hand, attack your fingers. So fingers, so it's like a wrist lock. Pin it down, step over, here. So if the arm's in front, I've got the choice. I can take whatever I want to do. Okay. Kimura, it's pretty much on already. Okay, he straightens his arms, get out of the Kimura. Take the elbow. Okay, holds his hands together. Is everyone okay to practice that? Would you like to see it one more time? Sure. So the emphasis on the Kimura finish is from here is thumb in, one hand, 2 hand. Attack. So what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to grab and I'm trying to crush the fingers. So this makes it so that the only way you can move his hand is down. Okay, push that, control it. Hand comes under, grip it up. I like to step over. So what happens is once I step over, I've got the ability to wrench the arm. If his arm comes in front, the other arm comes in front. It's armbar. If I don't want the armbar, I just keep the wrist control. It's such a tight grip, it's very hard for him to move from here. I've got the ability to upgrade. The only reason I come up from here is to keep him guessing. So I do have the armbar, I do have the choke, and I have the Kimura. He's got like a 1 in 3 chance of guessing the right solution. Kind of like going to the casino, you're always behind. You know? Okay, that's all I need. 1, 2, 3. About the mount, I've kind of taught you guys about keeping the mount with your chokes, how to hold the position. If they attack your legs, to attack the arm. The only one you do is to push away when someone's on the bottom, they push away. I will cover that, I'm not going to do that today, it's too much overload. So what I'd like to do now is a little bit of revision. And you're going to start with one person on top of mount, the other person underneath mount. And they're going to do one of the 2 major escapes. So either the elbows in, the hands in, or the pushing on the hips. 3 major escapes. Get it right. And it's your duty as the person on top to do the correct response for the correct escape. Now, I've already spoken to you guys, you can combo a lot of these together, so your chance of getting it wrong is pretty minimal. And if you do get it wrong, have a good hard look at yourselves. No, I'm joking. Like, so we're going to play it up with some of your own size. I'm going to put the time on for 3 minutes. And one person does 2 escapes, you swap over, the other person does 2 escapes. At the end of 3 minutes, we're going to change partners. What I'm going to do at the end of that is, to do that a few times, is I do a Q&A. If there's any questions or problems or issues that are coming up, I will address them. Okay guys, grab a partner, 1, 2, 3.
Just to keep in mind, over an escape point, it doesn't even go. But I can get a half back basically.
Oh, okay. So with the elbows in the escape, so this is the clean side. So as it's got the elbows from here, is he's trying to create space. So the thing about this is, I can't drive my right leg in to push the sort of legs in there, so I can do my left leg in. So now he tries to. Yeah, do you know what I mean? So what I see people is they try to address this issue, so they try and drive through, and what happens is their weight gets put offside so that when he bridges and moves, he can catch it. Number two is, if I feel he's got the control and the elbow goes on the inside of my leg too deep. And this is all about keeping the position. So I don't want to kind of go for my submission if I'm going to lose my position. So first thing that I do is I'm going to drop my weight down, I'm going to cross face my partner, I'm going to kick him to the side. So I'm going to go side. I drop my weight down, I'll cross face my partner, I'll kick him to the side. So if he's trying to turn the opposite way, and he now can't rescue the half guard. So this will put me in the position that there's only one hip that he can push. So he will start to push the hip. Cool, thank you. I can now start to get my attacks onto the arm. So if he's trying to move me this side, I want to cross face him and turn him onto the opposite side, and that'll make sure they can only push off one hip, which will give me access to the moves we've done. Just a quick thing while I'm here is, if I'm going like here and my partner puts his hand over the top and holds the arm so I can't do the arm bar, right? I just go straight to the attack. Because he's going, ha ha, I'm like, ha ha. You know what I mean? Like it's that game, and then we're into the game again. So anytime, if and this is about keeping the position, is anytime I feel my partner's off centre, now notice my foot's always onto the leg. I drop low, but as I drop low, I'm creating a valley. What I'm doing is I'm just going to go straight through his face, turn his face and turn him. So he can only push off one hip now. And it puts me back into the game. I would, as a general rule, continue with my Spider-Man. Keep the side so that the arm's clean, so he's only got one side to push off. And now, as he pushes, I get access to get the arm back up again, so I can attack the arm. Does that help? Awesome, thank you. You have questions, guys? Yes.
When you dropping your hands to your heart, I was finding I was just getting very off balance. Would that be a time to break fire, or?
So you were.
With Tom in and I had wrapped my head
The
around.
position, yeah.
Yeah, going into that.
Yeah.
I was finding myself getting very off balance and I couldn't finish off the choke, trying to take the shoulder. I couldn't finish.
So your balance, you've got a couple of ways to work your balance, and it's either you put a lever out there or a post out there. You either counterbalance using your head or your body weight on the opposite side, or you use a combination of both of them together. So if you think about this one, this is kind of counterintuitive, and this took me a long while to kind of get the hang of. So I go thumb in, and I'm here. And the reason why a lot of people feel that they're off balance is that they're coming straight, so a cinder. Where if I turn my hips down and come off the side, can you feel like, so I tend to drop off centre, so I have the post that I'm driving across your body to complete the choke. I'm trying to be really nice. I'm trying not to.
For it.
Sure?
Yeah.
She said it.
I take it back.
So anytime that my hand's here, what am I doing to your head? Anytime I'm here, can you move your head in the air? So you think about it this way, is I go smack against the head. So look at this valley that I've got to drive into. So instead of having my arm this way, which is your post, that's actually not your post, that's your driver. The post is this. Can you feel that like so I go here, come over the top here, and I go like that. So now all my weight's on the head turning which way? Yeah, I know. Oh, sorry.
No, it's fine.
But so I'm using my shoulder, my weight to turn the head the opposite direction, which makes it really hard for you to bridge that way. And anytime you bridge back that way, you're exposing the side of the neck, which I want to choke anyway. Does that help?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll show James. Jump down, please. So just come up the top. So over. So I use this to set it up. Right. But the downfall about it is if I go here, it's the momentum that he wants to use to bridge along. So the first thing I do is I bring this here. And now. So I kind of use that to push your head over and expose the side of your neck, and the choke will come in fairly faster as well. Thanks, John. Any other questions, guys?
Just a confirmation, are we still putting our weight in that direction? Like,
Yeah, you are. So come here, Sean. One. Over the top. Here. Turn it.
Oh yeah, yeah, it's going that way. But your other hand's yeah, that way, so it's like that.
Yes. Yeah, come There's correct ways and incorrect ways to deal with chokes, but in the heat of battle, sometimes you just do whatever you have to do. Do you know what I mean? So it's not like it's not going to happen. It's just like, you know, some people are just going to go, I want to do something so different that they might not be ready for it. So just this way. So thumb goes in, I come over, boom, I'm here. Drive my elbow through his face, drop it down, choke him. I just drive my elbow through your face. If they're really stubborn and they got like that really solid neck and solid, and that they don't care. So I come here, I'm like, and he turns his head down, and then I come through and start to work the head. His head to pull the head, and now come back over. So I'll grip and I'll use that mechanic to pull the head. The reason being is I still have a post mechanic. Right, I still have a post mechanic. Yeah, I'll just use that to pull the head, and that'll realign the spine and allow me to get to it. Worst comes, like if I'm here and he turns over, I'm just going to take the armbar instead. I'll take that wrist lock to the Kimura or the armbar. So if he turns before the choke, I attack the Kimura or the armbar. If he turns after, back elbow or grab the head and reach the head. Does that help? Anything else, guys? Yes, Steve.
Figure 4 attack. I don't know if they just want to keep rolling.
Jump like that. So, if we're doing, and this would be, if I'm attacking Steve and I already understand his body shape and size versus my body shape and size, it's not in my favour. But my knees are barely touching the ground. And that's just the body shape and size. So I need to be aware of this. So as I go in and he grabs it over and we go to Kimura. So as I'm going to Kimura, I'll always upgrade. So from here, I'll just look for your back. And I'll keep your back or upgrade. Do you know what I mean? So I'm always hunting to upgrade my positions. So if you continue to roll, of course I've stepped up into my left leg, I can throw my hook in and take the back control. And if he decides to kind of play around this here, see what's happened to this arm? Like I've got access to start to attack this arm to arm bar, because he has to try and use that arm to clear at some stage. Yeah. So I'll kind of use the hook as a hold position. Wait, because if it doesn't clear the hook, I'm going to take you back and choke you. So I'll wait the elbow pops up, then I'll attack the elbow frame. Cool, thank you. Anything else, guys?
arm wraps? You're still doing arm wraps?
We're going to do arm wraps later. I don't want to go too far down the road to hold the arm wraps, but yeah,
It just felt natural a few times I was doing it.
Yeah, just once again, going through the arm wrap is I'm going to compromise my ability to hold mount, because both my hands are now jeopardised around your neck, and I'll lose the ability to hold, even if I upgrade to cross body mount. So today's session is more about the mount position, holding the mount position and taking from mount. It's not necessarily going to cross body mount or the arm mount, but I will cover that. Anything else, guys?